Hey everyone, this is Maggie, and today we're gonna explain post-credit scenes and explain Cruella ending. We will be talking about this movie in depth, so beware big spoilers flying your way. Would Emma Stone's Cruella devil skin a dog? That's the million-dollar question that still hangs over Disney's demented but otherwise free-spirited Cruella. The movie almost devilishly asks audiences to sit with the idea every time Cruella glances over at her kidnapped Dalmatians. Her voiceover narration may insist that she doesn't blame the Pooches for her mother's death, back when they were summoned by Emma Thompson's Baroness to push Mama off a cliff. Yet Cruella also mentions to herself in the movie that they'd make excellent coats.
Idiot. She jumped. Did you see? She jumped.
And at the end of the film, she sends two acquaintances the dogs, who will become one-on-one Dalmatians, Pongo and Perdita. So, does Emma Stone's Cruella have wicked things on her mind? Well, the Cruella finale leaves things intentionally open-ended, but let's consider the actual resolution of the picture. Throughout the film, Stone's Estella struggles to be the woman that the mother who raised her, Catherine, wanted her to be, kind, patient, and honest. Yet those virtues never get Estella very far, and in fact leaves her unfulfilled, hence why she created the Cruella persona. Ostensibly, Cruella is meant to be an act. But the way Estella fidgets to hold in a grin when the Baroness, during a lunch, asks her if she has the killer instinct, suggests she's representing who she really is. Cruella might initially be a performative creation, indeed to fool the Baroness, but in the truth Estella is fooling herself. It's why her epiphany that comes after learning the Baroness is her mother is so satisfying. "I'm Cruella," Stone's character announces to the ghost of the woman who raised her. Bold, brilliant, born bad, and a little mad. She loves Catherine, the mother who raised her, but Cruella is realizing her true self. And that means accepting that she really is the Baroness's daughter in nature, if not nurture. Hence, instead of just trying to upstage the Baroness at fashion events, she winds up doing something at the end of Cruella as underhanded and malicious as, well, the Baroness herself. At the Baroness's final big gala in her home estate, Cruella arrives dressed as the meek Estella. We of course know Estella is now the act. She attempts to reconcile with the Baroness, a would-be mother who tried to have her murdered at birth, while standing by the same cliffside where the Baroness killed Catherine. Estella of course knows this woman cannot resist the opportunity of pushing her own daughter to a watery grave. Like adoptive mother, like daughter. So Cruella obviously knows the Baroness won't pass up the opportunity to push poor old Stella into the same sea when they meet again. Hence Cruella's parachute hitting beneath her skirt and Horace commanding a rowboat down below. It's also why she arranged it so a score of witnesses would see Estella die. Technically, Cruella didn't kill anyone at the end of the movie, but she framed the Baroness for her murder, sending the fashion diva to a future that is purely prison-guarded, black and white. Obviously, the Baroness deserves this fate, but there's something maliciously subversive about the protagonist of a Disney movie winning by framing her rival for a murder that never happened. The Baroness is of course a killer, and Cruella's voiceover narration highlights that. But let's just say this wouldn't be the noble resolution sought by Cinderella against her wicked stepmother, or how Belle would have personally taken care of Gaston if given half the chance in Beauty and the Beast. Admittedly, framing Catherine's murderer for another death is a far cry from skinning puppies. However, we're witnessing Cruella in a metamorphosis. When she first started calling herself Cruella, it was almost as a lark and about playing the press. However, even before the Baroness leaked to the press that Cruella is a dog killer, Stone's character did entertain the idea of skinning the woman's kidnapped Dalmatians who looked a lot like the dogs that physically killed her mother. She also wore a Dalmatian-inspired cape during the punk rock rave across the street from the Baroness's fashion show, which was definitely meant to scare the woman into thinking her dogs were dead. So the idea is clearly on Cruella's mind. And at the end of the film, when her friends/increasingly alienated helpers ask Cruella what to do now that she's stolen the Baroness's title and wealth, Cruella says, "I have a few ideas."
I've got a few ideas.
At the end of the main narrative, Estella has inherited her father the Baron's fortune, faked her own death, and bequeathed the estate to her dear friend Cruella. She, Jasper, Horace, and Artie all move into Hell Hall with John and Valet, who has proved himself an important ally. Here Cruella announces she has a few ideas for what their next movie might be. In the mid-credits scene, we see Roger receiving a gift from Cruella, a Dalmatian puppy which she introduces to him as Pongo. Then we see Anita receive a matching puppy, Perdita. In the book and the movie, it's not Cruella who gives the dogs to Roger and Anita, so this is an interesting twist as to where any possible sequels might be going. While in the originals, Cruella is indeed a school friend of Anita, she and Roger don't have a shared history and he is a songwriter rather than a lawyer. Perhaps Roger will change careers? You can't imagine our Cruella would be particularly annoyed by that ditty.
Not quite. A well-cut skirt is a lifesaver, girls. Remember that.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notifications about our latest videos. At the end of Cruella, Anita and Cruella are on good terms. She was Cruella's only real friend at school, and now working as a journalist, Anita helps boost Cruella's profile as a designer. The gift of a Dalmatian puppy to her would make sense as something barbed. She also has no specific beef with Roger by the end of the movie. It's hard to imagine these gifts to Anita and Roger are deliberately orchestrated so the two fall in love, as will the dogs, and produce a litter of puppies she can turn into a coat at some unspecified point in the future. If that is the plan, she's playing a long game. Nerd Dalmatian fact. Dalmatians usually reach their adult size by about 6 months, so it's likely Anita and Roger won't cross paths for at least a year. And it certainly could be a lot longer, giving us plenty of time for a Cruella 2 before a full-blown 101 Dalmatians remake, should Disney choose to take that path. It's also worth noting that Baroness is still alive but in prison, and has sworn to get her revenge on Cruella. However, there is the possibility Disney will yet backtrack from this idea. In this film, Cruella is initially framed in the press as a woman who's already cruel to animals, and while Cruella frames the Baroness for murder and has become increasingly short with her childhood friends, she's still inviting them into the renamed mansion, Hell Hall. And there she keeps on the valet, Mark Strong, who saved her life twice over, nodding to him with a sincere look of gratitude on her face. A potential Cruella 2 could be about how Cruella is further framed into dognapping by the Baroness. Remember, the Baroness is still alive when she's being dragged to prison. And the evil woman howls that she'll get revenge on Cruella one day. There could easily be another movie where the Baroness, Cruella's biological mother who passed down all the same vanities, is the actual villain in the 101 Dalmatians plot. She's already Cruella de Vil in everything but name and hairstyle, and she could don both while framing Stone's character in a reimagined 101 Dalmatians. But only if there's a sequel we will ever know for sure. Until then, it's really up to each viewer what those ominous rain clouds over Pongo's new home mean in the film's final shot. No matter how you interpret it, a storm is coming. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please make sure to give the video a like and subscribe with that bell on to get notified as soon as one of our videos comes out.